Now, I want to open up some conversation space for this shit. This is one thing that pisses me off. Like, I don't care someone's age. If you're perpetuating rape and causing harm, you're still perpetuating rape and causing harm. It doesn't give you a pass. Thank you. Thank you, Dom. So it kind of felt like they were co-signing the shit that happened because they were a minor at the time. That's just not a good look. It just shouldn't happen. Let me bring this over here. And then they were silencing Irish. Yeah. Like, I understand, like, yes, get them resources, help them do better, try to avoid that in the future where they don't do that again. All right, I get that. And I'm all for that. But to sit there and be like, oh, well, they were raped themselves. Like, what message are you trying to convey there? Because that still doesn't make it cool. Like, that doesn't give them an exemption or a pass. Guest requests are open, by the way. Anybody's welcome. I know a couple people wanted in on this. Where is it? There you go. So I don't know if anybody has not seen the shit show yesterday. I do have the clips up on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I do want to play the part and play the one with Irish because that's like a 20-minute long. Let me do a thing here. Oh, there is a Chrome one here. Perfect. And can I show it? Beautiful. Let's bring this in front. So again, words have power, and
both. So I spent a whole lot of time in court, and you're acting like you have to be an attorney to understand what is going on in a courtroom?
There's also spent time in court.
Really, dude? Really?
Dude, they spend a lot of...
I'm going to turn it up because it's a little bit low.
Childish. First off,
Good standing.
Yeah.
When you are in,
I don't
when
like
you are a sheriff's deputy, you go through several different training modalities. Shut it.
Okay,
Are you capable of being quiet when women are speaking or not?
Irish, I'm going to ask you this question so unambiguously that it's going to be really easy to understand. Are you a licensed attorney?
It's a question about my private life.
Okay, so then you want to know what? I'm going to call into question the fact that you have any right to make a statement of law in this case. And
sure, so why don't you tell me? Why don't you correct?
I want to call into question this because you made representations that you're an attorney. So I am going to treat you as somebody that is at least savvy with the law based on your representations. There is, regardless of your status of a victim, as a victim.
I'll touch on that in a second, Dom. So there's a difference. Like, if you're a Dom in a BDSM relationship, that's something between you and your partner. You shouldn't sit there when you're having these conversations where you're looking for feedback, you want the back and forth with someone that you have an issue with. You shouldn't sit there and act like a dom to them. It just doesn't fit. Also, like, asking, I get like B-Tron likes to throw the credentials around and I'm a lawyer, I'm this, here's my license. Not everybody needs to do that. We're on fucking TikTok. So, Irish is not in trouble. Irish was a good guy.
No competent attorney.
So there's this posturing
would please
with B-Tron trying to go after Irish and credentials.
To be identified publicly.
Child DV victim.
Quinn Pratt.
Did that.
Yes, you did. You live streamed it.
Yeah, this is about Quinn Pratt.
You live streamed it.
I live streamed what?
Dude, wow.
Can you answer the question, or are you just going to deflect? What did I live stream?
Oh, here we go with someone you.
I like B-Tron for some
You're the
stuff.
master of deflection. Okay, you're the master of Darvo at this point.
What did I live stream?
Not the Darvo. Actually, I could just do this.
Great, do you want to?
There we go.
Are you talking about these redacted documents that don't reveal any names whatsoever? Are you talking about these documents that don't reveal any private information whatsoever?
Oh, and you're going to show it again on my page? Oh, hell no, dude.
They're redacted.
No.
They don't
have any. You do not. Shut it.
Shut it.
You don't get to do that on my platform. You just stomped over a boundary and limitation that I placed on my motherfucking platform. You are unconscionable. I made it clear that I would never do such a thing,
what?
and you bring that to my platform.
Yeah, so the documents that Irish is showing have nothing with people's information on it. Thank you. They're not, it's nothing that you shouldn't, like, you should try to hide further. Irish very much redacted the information on there. So it was very smart of him, and he presented in a good way. Irish always presents stuff in a good way. Okay, thank you. It's just a reach to do that, and then the accusation of Darvo, when she wants Irish up to have the conversation, and I get trauma responses, right? I understand that, like, if you have a trauma response, valid, completely valid. We're not responsible for our trauma, but we are responsible in how we deal with it. Full stop. So you invite Irish up, you bring him up, you want to have this conversation, you mute him, you strawman what he's saying, and then you accuse him of Darvo when you wanted to have the conversation. She could have easily dropped Irish if she was uncomfortable or anything. We do it all the time. Yeah, if you have a, like, this is the thing with people like Zombie Love in them and people like her. If you experience trauma, you are ultimately responsible to make sure you are not in uncomfortable spaces. Hence, this live comes with a trigger warning. If this is going to be an issue, please step out as needed. I'm not responsible for that. You are responsible for that. Full stop. So, like, to put it on Irish? No. Thank you, Demented. Thank you all for loving that.
Okay, so I'm just going to say right now,
Holy shit,
Don't
dude.
talk. How about
Iris
me
is
and Bree?
not an attorney because an attorney.
Bree and I talk, and not the host.
Yeah.
Bree, what would you like to ask me?
How about you shut it when people tell you to shut it? When the host tells you to shut it, shut it.
No.
I'm just going to say that Irish is not.
Bree, go ahead and ask your questions.
Oh my
Bro,
God.
how about you stop acting like a fucking pretentious
Maki, know your place and be a bitch. Shut up. Go ahead.
I am here. I am not a bitch.
Maki.
So, Irish tells Bree, if you want to have the conversation, let's have the conversation. And then she proceeds to sit there and tell him to shut up. Irish didn't want to engage with her. And then Maki's got to come to the fence, which I get it. It's your partner. You want to defend them. But your partner is up here saying the whole life that they can stand on their own. They can deal with it. Let your partner deal with it.
Shut the fuck
Go ahead,
up.
Bree.
Hi, I'm muting you. Now you're my fucking bitch as you have been
Clear.
your entire fucking life.
You're part pissed off. Drop.
Just to be perfectly queer, Bloody Mary, I was never outside of the good graces of Irish. I actually was messaging Irish this morning. So, good try. Good try.
Flat.
Maki,
Over it.
let's take the temperature down a little bit. Let's take the temperature down a little bit.
That's a smart thing for Bree to say.
Everyone
Take
mute
the
for a
temperature
second,
down.
please. Everyone, mute. Irish, you are purposefully provoking.
Sexy, gorgeous, engaging, charming.
You're a troll, and you are purposefully provoking. And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if people are recording this, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, it's
That's
recorded.
good.
My mom.
Irish is not provoking anything. Irish does a lot like what I do. That's the way Irish and I get along. Don, we're talking about what the hell's their name? So this is about words have power, Maki and Bree. When someone starts to act so belligerently stupid about a situation, they wanted to have the conversation with Irish, then muted them, and then they start shit. And then Irish wants to address just Bree and have that conversation, so because the host can't do that. They were going to move that down that line. So Irish did the same thing I do when... Oh, they're always here, Katie. That's fine. When people start to act stupid and I'm on a panel, you just start playing up the fucking games. Plain and simple. If Irish is triggering, it's your live. You could have kicked them.
So my question is, Irish, were those documents used in a way that such a reasonable person could know who the minor child was being referenced in those documents?
Excellent question, Bree. That is a level-headed question. What was
am I
redacted
hysterical?
was...
Oh my God, you're about to be dropped. If you pull one more
Bree, would you
sexist
like to
thing
join
on my
on my
platform,
live?
you will be
Irish
dropped.
you and I can
If
have
you
a
cannot
convo.
be civil, you will be dropped. If you cannot talk to me like I'm a human being, you will be dropped and you won't be allowed on this platform at all. Period.
Oh.
So either take it down and be chill, or you're done. It's one or
Irish
the other.
was chill
Yes, ma'am.
talking to Bree.
So, Bree, that's an excellent question. I redacted the state. I redacted the county. I redacted all addresses. I redacted the petitioner's names. I redacted the children's names. The only identifiable information was of Quinn, meaning Quinn's name and his brother's name.
He was
no
a minor
ages.
child at the time.
Can I please finish?
He was a minor
Can
child
I please
at
finish?
the time.
Yes, who molested a 7-year-old child.
But he was a minor child
Who
at
molested
the
a 7-year-old
time.
child. Who molested a 7-year-old.
So she keeps repeating this. He was a child at the time. This is the point of what we're getting at.
child.
Okay,
Doesn't
so
matter.
Here's the thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you forgetting that? He a 7-year-old child. Defending a molester.
No, I'm not.
You
You're
are
not
actively
listening.
defending a molester.
You are
Disgusting.
actively not listening.
So he was 11 years old and raped a 7-year-old. Reminds me of a situation on here where we were talking about Agent 009. I'd have to go back. But same situation where they touched a child when they were younger and said they were raped themselves. It doesn't matter the age. You still did it. An 11-year-old should know better not to touch another child inappropriately. Full stop. Just because they were a child doesn't give them grace, doesn't give them a pass. Yes, Brandon. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was Brandon. Appreciate you.
Both of you are actively defending a molester. You're actively
No, I'm not.
Yes.
We are saying what you did was unconscionable because it was pertaining to the little case involving a minor.
I did.
And bringing up CPTSD because you're in
what I did.
No, they're not the same person.
Don't fuck.
Such a fucking
Wrong, you
shut up.
So, Irish,
Maki is like
conversation.
useless
Bree,
in
if
this
I can
whole
continue-
conversation.
Stop interrupting Bree. She's being very
Information was
cool. Stop
Let Bree and I
interrupting.
talk.
Stop interrupting Bree. She is being very
Go on this
calm. Stop. Bree,
No
please.
one likes you, host. Like, let me talk to Bree.
I don't give a fuck. Bree, please.
I can talk to Bree.
Irish, shut it.
Ma'am?
Bree, go ahead.
Irish is literally trying to tell the host to stop. We're having trouble engaging. Let me talk to Bree. And she just doesn't want to fucking let it go. Maki is utterly useless in this situation. I have no clue like why Maki was even up there. That was pointless. Maki's useless. 110%.
So my thing is,
The host is.
I hear what you're saying, Irish, but if it is presented in a way that somebody could readily identify the information.
You said it wasn't.
Stop
Hold on.
interrupting Bree. Stop.
It's representing what happened.
Well, I'm not getting a chance to because you're interrupting me.
Exactly. This is what happened to me with him.
Exactly.
Okay, child.
He's more informed than you.
If it was represented in a way that somebody could reasonably infer who was being talked about in regards to the minor child, even if the information was redacted, because the statements that are being made on the live stream are also adding context to the documents that you're presenting, then the issue is the disclosure of the minor's information. Now, here's the thing. I completely understand if the individual who is, I could completely understand if this is being used to address a situation with an abuser. However,
So I just want to touch on something Bree said. Bree was talking about the paperwork identifying who a victim is or the survivor is, and whether or not like we should even be showing it because of that situation. Okay, this is Quinn Pratt. Any legal stuff out there, court documents, unless it is sealed. Hi, Emily, I've been looking for you. Unless it's a sealed court document from when they were a minor and the judge said seal that shit, you can get your hands on that. Any of that stuff is available. So whatever is in those court documents, you can actually pull that up. Oh, Emily, no, I just wanted to watch your lives. I haven't seen you in a while, so you're good.
these
So, thank you
records
for
are in
the follow,
regards
Emily.
to a minor. And because of that, we treat those records differently. Even if this was in a situation that it was in a criminal proceeding, you wouldn't be able to just go and get this individual's minor's records and be able to use them in open court.
Yeah, you can.
So
You can get,
I'm not entirely
you can
sure
get
why
records
those
of minors if
documents
they're
were even
not
relevant.
sealed
And if they were
records.
under seal, how you would even get access to those documents unless you could provide some type of documentary evidence that you filed a motion to break seal with a court order.
This was wild. Yeah.
I didn't kick him. So unless Words did, then he dropped of his own volition.
I didn't kick him either. I don't.
I'm going to call it, and I'm going to say Maki kicked Irish. I'm going to say they did it. Okay? I'm pretty much saying they did it. Unless they show like a screenshot of who actually did it. I'm saying Maki did it. Maki called it at that moment. I didn't kick them. Hi, Irish. I'm going to say Maki kicked them. Okay. And then Maki played it off. Maki is fucking conniving and just a trash person. Hi, Katie.
Yeah, I would. Hey, Echo. I would say that too, because that whole thing is crazy as hell. And I do find it very convenient that she didn't know what's going on, but then Maki did, and then Maki never told us. And people were in the comments saying, show us the mod settings. because we wanted to know who did what to Irish. And
Oh my God, I'm so angry. Sorry, go ahead.
Irish.
And
Just real quick for everyone, I did not tell Irish I was going live tonight.
Dude, I literally just spent the past 20 minutes preparing receipts to go live on. I didn't know you were going live at all. It's
my
so
fault.
infuriating, these morons. But go
wait,
ahead.
the both
I
of you,
was
the both of you
pissed
can blame the
at
black
this.
person. The both of you can blame the black person. I shared it to Irish. I'll take the blame.
That's okay.
Wait, what?
No, I'm saying as a joke. I'm taking the blame. I shared it to you. I don't know if it came through my invite or something else, but
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. Got it. No. Someone let me know that you were live, and I was about to go live on the lawyer who has been messaging me and threatening to sue me since last night, which is crazy. So I didn't know you were going live.
So, is that Bree that's doing that?
Yeah, Bree did what, like, listen, I have a whole thing I'm about to do on it after I drop from this live, which I don't know if I will be soon, but where I wanted to go through, like, gaslighting and manipulation. Bree slid into my DMs, messaged me, and then I started to reply to her, and then she started saying, I don't consent to communication. And I was like, bitch, you don't get to go on a live, talk shit, message me, and then claim harassment when I get to message back. That's not how it works. And then she ended with her last statement saying that she's going to sue me. And I was like, bitch, try it. I'm so stupid. Like, these arrogant, narcissistic asshats. And what it comes down to, it's as simple as this. Sorry, not sorry. They're fucking losers who are upset that nobody likes them or gives them credibility. Fucking losers who are thirsty for validation,
Iris,
and they're jealous.
Recording, I got a warning. So just
All right, I apologize.
Just for educational purpose only, human decency on the TikTok shop. Maki can get it in bulk now. Irish left. Yeah, 10 out of 10 Irish, agree. No, so just to be clear, Bree is Beatron. Okay, everybody remember Beatron, that's Bree. Maki is Words Have Power's partner. Oh, okay, you're good. Yep. So that's where it come from. So, oh yeah, I know Bree. So, yeah. Like, Bree knows they can come talk and we can talk about this shit. But like, you agree, a rapist doesn't get the pass. Oh, speaking of which. Hi, Bree.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, Bree.
So I just wanted to clear air about some of our email exchanges because...
Don't worry, I got them all ready to show to everyone. Despite your threat that you're going to sue me if I do so.
Actually, Irish, I never threatened to sue you. And I'm happy to validate that. I just simply said electronic disclosures in my state are not subject. Well, you can do that, but you do realize you just violated the law, right?
Oh.
I'll cope. I'll cope.
Electronic disclosure requires two-party consent in my state.
Great. Do I live in your state?
I live in the state.
That's
And
great
since
for
you're
you, Bree. Do I live in
contacting
your
me-
state?
Actually,
Actually, what?
Are you aware that you...
Do I live in your state, Bree? Do you know how the law works? You claim to be a
Yeah,
lawyer.
actually,
I
I
did
do.
confirm you are a lawyer.
Okay,
so
so
why don't you
here-
tell me
here's
what is
wait,
your
hold
charge?
on a
What is the
second,
criminal
hold on,
action
hold
you're
on
going
a
to take
second.
against me?
Hold on. Irish, are you a lawyer?
I don't disclose personal information about myself, Bree.
Okay.
Why,
You do
like,
realize...
Bree,
Hold on. You do
no, hold
realize...
on.
Wait, no. I
No,
get to ask this
Bree.
question.
I
You
know,
do
Bree.
realize if you hold yourself out as a lawyer under...
I
the
hold myself
canon
out
of
as a fax
ethics,
repairman who works at a law firm.
If you hold yourself... Okay, then fine. Then what you're doing is a felony.
Great. What's the felony?
Unauthorized practice of law.
Okay, when have I practiced law? Do I have a client?
Actually, you...
Actually, do I have a client, Bree? Yes or no?
Yeah, actually, you're giving
Who's my
legal
client?
advice.
Who's my client, Bree?
You're giving legal advice.
Bree, who's my client?
The public.
The public, wow. Do I have a retainer? Because that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Actually,
if I had the entire public as my client, I'd be worth a fortune, Bree.
Hold
worth
on a second.
Fortune.
Okay, so Echo, I'm not going to be able to say anything if Irish is going to just go and sit here and cut me off.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead and educate us, Bree.
I just want to set some ground rules here because y'all know how I do. The crowd knows how I do. We do have a back and forth. I don't play the muting game with people unless it gets like absurd. So we can have a back and forth. Y'all can have a dialogue if you want. Because I don't think you're going to go to Irish's live and have that conversation.
Oh, it's going to be completely unproductive.
I mean,
and Irish is just going to misstate facts and slander me, which is fine. I'm prepared for that.
I think, personally to me, I think it's weird that, like, I'm cool you coming on here saying, I'm a lawyer, this is what I do, I resent people. Bree, you do a lot of good for people and helping people on here. Not going to downplay that, okay? But to sit there and credential other people on this app, that to me is utterly stupid to do. We've seen that with other people. We just need to get away from that in general. So you're taking something that other people have done to disavow and discredit other people, but then you're trying to do the same thing because you have an issue with Irish. So I just think like that's something we should just stop doing on Debate Talk.
Okay, so here's the thing, and I want to be very...
Boss lady, I'll mod you up.
I want to be very explicit about what my purpose was for last night so that you can understand my point of contention. I went up on Words Live because there were relevant questions of law regarding court records for minor children and DV victims.
So just to be clear, then you went up there as her counsel to give her legal advice, Bree?
No, actually not. I
Weird.
went up there to offer education to the public, which is why I properly identified myself, the state that I'm barred in, and also made an unambiguous statement that this was not in relation to my firm. I am making these statements on my own volition, and nothing that I said was attributed to my firm.
Bree, let me understand. Bree, let me understand, because what I believe you just said... Bree, I didn't say I'm attributing it to your firm. What I asked you was, you're giving a legal... What I just said right now is not... That is not what I just said, Bree. Do not lie. Nobody heard me say...
Do you want me to read the statement?
I'm not talking about what I read. I'm not talking about what I commented to you. I didn't say... Hang on. Bree? Bree?
No,
I didn't bring up your firm in the question I just asked you. The question I just asked you was...
No, that's
you were
not
giving...
what you said,
Can you stop interrupting me, Bree, like a child?
Hold on.
No.
Bree,
you just said that Words Had Power had legal questions pertaining to legal issues, and you joined her live to give her advice. Can you please explain to me how you're not giving unauthorized... Can you please let me finish? Can you let me finish, Bree?
Bree.
No,
Bree and
actually
Irish,
no, because you don't...
No, hold on. I am going to give you guys the opportunity to... Sorry, I use guys as gender neutral. I'm going to give y'all the opportunity to self-regulate your conversation. If that doesn't happen, I will say Irish go, then Bree go, then Irish go. And we will handle it with kids' gloves if I need to do that. I have no problem infantilizing the conversation there if that needs to happen, okay? I don't want to do that. I want to treat you both as adults and let y'all have that back and forth.
Great, then I'm asking Bree a very simple question. Bree, did you not just say that Words Had Powers had very specific legal questions about legal issues and that you joined her live in order to give advice? Did you not just say that?
So those questions were in regards to the live of the discussion being talked about, which, as an attorney, I am allowed to comment on.
I'll ask the question again. Did you say what I said you just said?
That's the answer I'm giving, and I'm not going to be responsive to any
It's
other
okay.
question.
We're recording the entire thing.
That's okay. It's been asked and answered.
Okay, great. Just curious, if you're allowed to give public comment as a lawyer, are you saying that when you give public comment as a lawyer, you do not retain the public as your client, Bree?
I am actually, that actually goes under very different...
Actually.
Okay, are you
Telltale
just
sign of a liar.
Hold on, Bree, go ahead. Respond.
So, those go under different professional obligations when lawyers make comments about the law in regards to the public. However, and this is the crux of the practice of law, it's applying facts to the law. Anytime somebody says, I have X, and you take X and you apply it to law B, that is the practice of law.
So you
You're
practice
speaking
law.
to something. Well, I'm an attorney.
So you practiced law last night on Word Says Powers live, correct?
I was commenting on the
Wait,
law.
wait, hang on. Didn't you just apply law to the facts of the situation that she provided? Therefore, by your own definition, you practiced law on her live last night, correct?
Huh? Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So you agree that you practiced law on Words of Powers live last night.
Why wouldn't it be?
Great. Who is your client?
I don't need a client.
How do you practice law without a client?
But you can practice law just by offering legal advice, including to the public.
So you did offer legal advice to Words of Power last night?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's my discretion.
Boom. Okay. So right there, Bree has admitted that she offered legal advice to Words Has Power last night, which means the legal comments that she made yesterday were done in her authority as a lawyer. Correct, Bree?
So now let me actually. No, hold on, Irish, because
This is why only being a lawyer for 2 years
No,
means that you should learn to be a little bit more careful with your words, Bree.
Let me tell you something. We don't even know if you're actually a lawyer, so you could just
doesn't actually matter, Bree.
Internet looking stuff. Actually,
it doesn't actually matter.
I honestly don't care because we're on TikTok. Like, let's be for real. The posturing on this app is getting ridiculous. The point of authority that I'm a lawyer, I have more authority, and I don't think you're a lawyer. Like, that is just stupid to do on a social media app.
Okay, well, here, Irish, I'm going to ask you a question. What constitutes an attorney-client relationship?
The formation of attorney-client relationship is created either by retaining the person, meaning the client comes to you, ask for advice, and you engage, draft up an engagement letter, usually comprised of including some statement regarding a retainer, or you offering legal advice and acting in the capacity of a lawyer without prior set engagement, meaning you can become a person's lawyer and attorney without a formal agreement to do so. And what you just admitted to, that you are offering legal advice to her on her live, would constitute the creation of an attorney-client relationship under California law.
Okay, so let me
Do you disagree with that? Do you disagree with that, Bree?
Yes, I do, actually.
Okay, so explain to me how, and let's be real clear. You just said that you offered legal advice on legal issues pertaining to Words of Power on her live last night. Explain to me how that does not constitute the creation of an attorney-client relationship.
That is not what I said. That is not what I said.
Okay.
I was very clear that I was offering public comment. Now, it was on Words Live, but I was not acting as Words Live because that comes to the second element that has to do with the attorney-client relationship. What is the essential element for the client in determining whether or not there is an attorney-client relationship?
Not answering your questions if you're going to be dishonest.
I'm not being dishonest. This is actually an on-point legal question. You should be able to answer this. It's real simple.
Sure. So what you're referring to is the fact that the expectation of legal services will be provided by a lawyer based upon the conduct of the lawyer towards the client. And so what you're saying is subjectively, the element from a subjective standpoint, Words Has Power had to have believed that there was the formation of an attorney-client attorney-client relationship in order for one to have been formed, which you would be accurate in stating. However, from a negligence standpoint, the Bar of California would absolutely agree that you going up there and offering legal advice unsolicited or solicited to someone who you've not engaged with in a retainer or an engagement letter is you potentially opening yourself up to become their lawyer, and that is reckless behavior on your part. You should never give legal advice to an individual without offering some sort of disclaimer, which you never did on that live because we have it entirely recorded, without giving some sort of disclaimer for the exact risk that I'm mentioning, that you risk becoming her lawyer by virtue of the fact that you're offering advice, even absent an engagement letter. Now tell me what is wrong and point to statute or ethics, code of ethics, that says what I just said is wrong.
So let me, okay.
Point to code of ethics or statute that shows what I just said is wrong.
So here's the thing. All right,
What's the
and
thing?
this goes into the code of ethics.
What's the thing?
If any of my engagement on Words Live does in fact constitute an attorney-client relationship based on Word's belief that has been formed, my obligation then would only be to Words, not
Correct.
anything to you. So what is your point?
Oh, the point is that you just practiced law last night, which means you fall under the the supervision of the California Bar Society. Last night, you did not simply. Please let me finish. No, please let me finish. Because by practicing law, whether or not there was the creation of an attorney-client privilege, by practicing law, the statements you made last night were done as a lawyer, which means they fall under the purview of the California State Bar Association, which means the conduct that you engaged in last night can be reviewed by them and potentially lead to a sanction if they so decide. Is anything I just said contrary to ethical standards set forth in the California Code of Ethics or by statute? Yes or no, Bree?
No, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. Okay, so what in the Code of Ethics or statute shows that I'm wrong?
Because the Code of Ethics require, in order for the State Bar to have an investigation, Words would have to file a complaint against me.
Wrong. That's not true.
Okay, then can you please give me the substantive case law that demonstrates that
Yes,
I'm wrong?
absolutely I can. California Bar of Examiners is allowed to sua sponte engage in an investigation of an attorney's client in providing legal practice to a client, absent the client being upset. I, as a person who's not privy to the attorney-client privilege or relationship, I cannot complain on my own behalf, but I am able to submit a complaint to the California Bar of Examiners, which they can examine and investigate to determine whether or not what you did was immoral or against the Code of Ethics. Whether it's against the Code of Ethics or not is irrelevant to whether your client is happy.
And that is a complete and wrong answer, and why people...
Did you just say the California Board... Hang on. Did you just say the California Board of Examiners cannot supervise and reprimand an attorney for the practice of law absent a client complaining? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, this is why we do not.
Is that what you just said?
This is why.
Is that what you just said?
This is why we do not allow non-lawyers to practice California law.
Stop doing an appeal to authority when you're a donkey who's only been practicing 2 years.
Bree, I don't want posturing.
No, I want to be very clear.
I'll ask the question again. Are you saying that the California Bar of Examiners is not able to supervise, evaluate, or reprimand attorneys that are inside their auspice without and absent a client complaint?
Did on this live
was school your ass, Bree.
So,
no,
Bree, how is Irish wrong? How is Irish wrong? Because I don't want posturing, and I don't want to say this is why we do this.
This is not posturing.
I want to understand why it's wrong and give me like the legal stuff.
No, this is not posturing. This is not posturing. This actually comes down to really my professional obligation for integrity of the profession. Irish has engaged on this live specifically talking about a specific interest applying law to facts. That is against the law.
Isn't that what you did literally last night?
No, because I'm an attorney. You're not.
Okay, so you're saying that I engaged in the unauthorized practice of law?
Yes.
Great. Didn't you also just say a moment ago that there can't be a complaint made absent a victim, and the victim in this case would be the client? Who's my client?
No, because you just don't even understand how it works in California.
Bree, didn't you just say you can't make a complaint absent a client who's complaining? Who's my client, Bree?
Because you want to know what, here's the thing.
Can you answer my question, Bree?
You don't understand.
I tell you this, you can tell you're not a trial attorney.
I genuinely want to know. I genuinely want to know, like, what's the answer to that question? I'm not a lawyer, so I'm learning here as we go. So please.
Here's the thing. What Irish is referring to is part of the canon of ethics, where the state bar can take sua sponte action for gross misrepresentations, and usually because Irish does not know are judicial opinions.
Oh, so I'm right.
You're not right, because this is usually reserved for retainer issues. Because we actually
so
have
what about
mandated
advertising? What about when a attorney engages in unauthorized advertising? Are you telling me that the Board of Examiners isn't able to hold you accountable for that, absent a complaint from a victim? Did you even read the Code of Ethics?
What I did, because
Can you answer my question? Don't deflect.
No,
answer my
you're
question.
wrong, because what I did was not advertising.
Hang on. You're telling me that the Board of Examiners is not able to reprimand a attorney for unauthorized advertising or promotion without absent a victim?
So, Irish, please define what advertising is.
Sure. For example, going on a live, which I'm not saying you did, going on a live saying that I'm the best attorney in California,
exactly what you're saying that I did.
I'm an attorney who managed to get a $2 million settlement for these types of cases. That would be considered unauthorized or unethical promotion of yourself as someone who's able to guarantee those results.
Which I did
Are you
not
telling me
say.
that I didn't say you did.
No,
I didn't say you did, Bree, you gaslighter. What I said was, that's an example of when the Board of Examiners is allowed to evaluate and reprimand an attorney absent a complaint from a victim.
No.
I'm owning you. I'm owning you, Bree. You look like a moron. You're up here representing a firm. And when you say representing a firm, when you are attached to a firm, you are always representing them. Okay? You're not acting in the capacity as an individual who is retained by the firm.
When I'm doing pro bono work, all right? So you're saying when I'm doing pro bono work that my firm is attached to my representation?
Just like any company, if you're an employee of a company, your actions will fall back on that firm. It doesn't mean that you're acting in an official capacity of the firm. Do you understand that difference, Bree? I'm not saying that you're acting in an official capacity on behalf of your firm. What I'm stating is the actions you take as a lawyer when attached to a firm reflect on the firm. And a firm does not want someone engaging in unauthorized practice of law and or recklessly practicing law on TikTok like you admitted you did last night.
Oh, okay. So you're...
Oh, okay.
So, I find this very interesting.
Do you? Because I'm bored.
I find this very interesting that you're sitting here with a whole bunch of hoopla and you don't even know what you're talking about.
What don't I know about?
What
have I said that's inaccurate?
Irish doesn't
just about everything.
What? Be specific. What have I made that's a claim about the law during this live that is
you don't
incorrect?
Have any credibility here.
Answer the question, Bree.
Again,
no, because you don't have any credibility.
That's an attack on character, not the argument.
That's right, because he has no character. I'm calling it into question. I don't think that Irish is
who
this
they
isn't
court, Bree. This is.
I'm not saying I'm a lawyer. I'm saying I'm a fact repairman. I'm a fact repairman at a law firm. I'm not a lawyer.
You're not?
I'm a fact repairman at a law firm.
Okay, that's all I need.
Now, let's go through each of the claims that I made and ask you to validate each one. The first claim was, you can run.
If you're not a lawyer.
You can run. As soon as you run, I'm also going to be showing all your communications with me.
No, if you're not a lawyer, I'm not going to talk to you about.
You just said everything I just said was wrong. Let's start with step one.
No,
do you need a complaint from a client in order for the California Board of Examiners to reprimand an attorney? Yes or no? Echo, do you recall Bree saying that you need to have a complaint from a client in order for the California Board of Examiners to reprimand an attorney? Do you remember Bree took that position?
I'm not going to debate the law with a non-lawyer.
We're recording on YouTube right now, so this is all recorded.
Oop.
So what?
I mean, I would be pretty embarrassed if I were you.
Am I supposed to sit here?
Be embarrassed? No, because you're a narcissist, so you don't know shame.
It's not a point of embarrassment. So I'm tired of these fucking lives where people sit there and say, "Oh, well, I didn't say that." Well, guess what? It's recorded. It's out there. We can play it back. So if there is something you said, we can always go back to that. People can watch it. So. Again, Beatron, I love what you do and the pro bono work you do and the work you help people out with that need it. Fully love you and support you for that. This point of authority that you're taking on a fucking social media app is wild.
So let me address this on point, Echo. Okay, I honestly don't really give two squats about Irish or their point of view or what they think about me and my legal opinion, it really doesn't matter to me, because at the end of the day, all right, Irish is not opposing counsel. It's not like
it's not a courtroom, you donkey. It's TikTok.
It's social
well,
media.
no, I know, and that's the point that I'm exactly making. Now, really, all of this came down because Irish did not like what I had to say about the handling.
It was ignorant and incorrect. You said categorically that any court documents pertaining to children are sealed and are not permitted to be shared publicly. You said that categorically. You then made a comment to me in my comments where you tried to change that statement and said it's not categorical, it's just assuming these facts. And so I went up there in order to correct your ignorant statement that all documents pertaining to children are not sealed. They're not protected, that you are ignorant on that point of law because you are an attorney, you're just not a good one. That's why I wouldn't be going around if I were you bragging about your bar number, because if I was your firm, I would be embarrassed to have an asshat of attorney like you attached to the firm.
For educational purposes only, Human Decency is available on the TikTok shop. I will give a discount coupon to Maki to get half off.
So the question to you is, do you agree that information pertaining to children in court documents is not always sealed, Bree? Correct, yes or no?
So, Echo, I'm going to
Bree, you can deflect. Okay, go ahead, because you can't handle an actual conflict. As an attorney, you can't handle conflict. That's crazy.
There we go. Spine and a backbone is available on TikTok shop for Maki.
So, without getting into all the legal minutia about court records when it comes to children in criminal matters, SA matters, and DV victims specifically.
Oh, was it a criminal matter?
These
was it a criminal matter?
It can also be civil too.
Okay, so in pertaining to civil matters, go ahead.
These class of records are actually handled very differently.
How are they handled?
There's additional scopes of protection for
what are the scopes of protection?
Yeah, so, Bree, is it...
No, hang on. If I can continue. What is the scope of protection, Bree? Let's see if you're an actual attorney. What is the scope of protection that courts afford documents that pertain to children?
All right, so here's the... You know what? Actually, I'm going to give this question to you.
Can't answer the question, Bree.
No. What is the provision of the Violence Against Women Act regarding the disclosure
We're talking about a child who is being assaulted, not a DV victim.
Oh, now we have an appeal to a motion.
We're appeal to facts, you fucking moron. An appeal to facts, you moron. We're talking about a child, not a DV victim, moron.
Irish Live. Bree, you didn't ask a question or answer the question. You were asked a question and then you diverted to asking Irish a question.
Oh, this is because every time I get a sentence in, I have Irish literally going and speaking over me, which Irish does to femme-presenting people.
I literally want to know the answer to that question Irish asked, and I have a follow-up question myself that I want clarification on.
So first of all, for court records and personal information, those are protected again by the Violence Against Women Act. This is a federal law. In order for you to get a hold of those records, in order for you to disclose those records, all right, in order to meet the requirements for you to be able to use them, and it doesn't even matter if it's in redacted form.
We're talking about children, Bree. Can you get back on point? We're not talking about DV victims.
That you have nothing.
We're talking about. Can you focus on the facts of what we're talking about, Bree? We're talking about court documents pertaining to minors, right? Why don't you talk about minors?
And that's exactly what I'm talking about.
No, you're not. You're talking about DV victims. What is the relevance of DV victims when we're talking about cases involving minors, you donkey? This is embarrassing.
So the issue that came up was this was a situation about a minor that this fucking guy did when he was a child, okay? So
I'm aware of that.
It's a minor.
Yeah. How's that not
does the Violence Against Women Act apply to minors?
Yes.
In this case, does it apply?
Yes.
Why?
Because of the nature of a relationship, the harm was done, and under the statute, it would be classified as domestic violence extending protection.
Yeah, sorry.
Great. So let's just wait. Sorry. Let me interrupt. Let me show Bree how she's a fucking moron. What qualifies you to fall as a domestic violence
Irish, I gotta
victim,
make an
Bree?
apology. I apologize for the ableist comment I made. No excuse for it. I'm sorry.
What ableist comment did you make? Okay, you don't have to say it again. I don't support yeah, I get you. Bree, what qualifies you to constitute? Great, so let me educate everyone. In order to qualify as a domestic violent victim, you have to have a sufficient relationship with. You have to have a sufficient relationship with the perp, and that relationship usually is that you are either a direct or close family member, and or you live in that person's house. That is ordinarily what qualifies you as a domestic violence victim, which is why this has no relevance to what is. Can you shut up, you moron, while I school you? Which has no relevance to this case because the victim in this case had no connection to the perp. Therefore, domestic violence had nothing to do with it, you moron.
Is that it?
Yeah, correct me. Correct me how I'm wrong.
Is that it?
Yeah, correct me how I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're totally wrong on the statute.
Oh, please educate me.
No, I don't educate non-lawyers.
You don't educate anybody because you're a moron.
Whatever.
Explain to me how it's domestic violence when the perp is not related to or lives in the same house or has any familial connection to the victim. Explain that to me, Bree, you moron.
So, yeah, like I said...
Can you answer the question?
Anyway, these records are protected.
Can you answer the question, Bree, instead of deflecting like a moron? I'm treating you like a joke because you are a fucking joke.
In order to get access to those records, you would need written consent from the victim.
Wrong. Like, this is why it, like, listen, let me be super clear. Nobody contact Bree's firm. Like, nobody do that. That is messed up. I don't endorse that. That's stupid. That's unnecessary. That's, like, it's just not necessary, right? Okay, I will say it is pathetic, Bree. It is pathetic that you're up here identifying yourself as an attorney, and you are, by doing so, identifying the firm that you're attached to, when you're up here saying things about the law that is objectively false.
No, it's not objectively false.
So I'll ask the question again. How is a victim who has no familial relationship or does not share a house or a residency in any way with the perp, how are they a victim?
Your story keeps
changing. How are they a victim of domestic violence, Bree?
Because
answer my question, Bree.
No, I'm not going to answer your question.
Okay, so here's the reason why. Just because you have the certificates doesn't make you educated. Because Bree's a moron right now.
Yeah.
So explain to me this, Bree. If I walk into a bar and I find a stranger and I punch him in the face, is he a DV victim?
Yeah. Whatever.
Is he a DV? Okay, Echo. If I go up to someone in a bar who's a stranger, I punch him in the face. Do you think that person's a DV victim?
No, it's not domestic.
Oh, weird. What makes it domestic, Echo?
Being at home.
Oh, crazy, right?
In a place of home.
Echo, are you practicing? Are you engaging in the unauthorized practice of law, or are you just talking common fucking sense?
I mean, I don't believe in common sense, but yeah, I'd chop it up to common sense.
So, Bree, correct me how I'm wrong, because this is why I'm saying don't come online, tell people your bar number, and then engage in the negligent practice of law. That's what you engage in. Anything I talk about the law is accurate. Because I've spent years reading documents from fax machines. Years.
Can we get Shamrocks in chat?
Interesting. You know, Irish, I just wanted to read back on the message that you sent to me.
Hey, I'll show all of them.
Did you
I'll share all of them. Hang on, I'll share all of them. Let's do it.
No, I don't consent to that.
I don't care. You can. Oh, by the way, your tokenization of sexual assault victims by using the word consent in conversations with me was gross.
I don't
to
care
suggest that someone responding to your comments was violating your consent was gross.
Did I tell you that? Did I make it explicitly
Let's start.
clear?
Page 1 of 10.
Okay, so go ahead. You're going to do what you're going to do, Irish. So guess what? I'm just going to sit back. I'm not going to comment. You do.
That's what you should have done yesterday, Bree. Was sitting your fucking ass because you don't know anything.
No, here's the thing. I'm going to sit back and let you make an ass out of yourself, and I'm just going to collect.
Oh yeah. Hang on. I've never, ever said that I'm not immature. I am an immature little fucking man-child. I've never ran from that in my life. However, I'm accurate and I'm truthful, which is something that people need on this fucking app. That's why, even though people hate me sometimes, they don't dispute what comes out of my fucking mouth, unlike idiots like you and Words Have Power, who are narcissistic, asshole losers who are just upset that nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say, not simply because you're not engaging and you're both fucking boring as fuck, but because you're uneducated, condescending, pretentious asshats who don't know anything about what you speak about, Bree. That's the difference. Even though I'm an asshole, I'm right. Nobody can dispute I am always fucking right.
Oh,
this
really?
live is just for educational purposes only. Human decency is available on the TikTok shop. Go pick it up. While you're at it, you can also gift Maki a spine from the TikTok shop.
Oh, did the child leave?
No, he rotated out to protect the live. This is how we keep going without having issues.
So, I find this very interesting because, you know, honestly, like from my assessment, somebody like Words and Irish for what they do should be in a
Would be a power couple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
I highlighted that part of your messages to me because I wanted to laugh at that.
Why is that funny?
Because she's not a good advocate. I want everyone to know right now, okay? Hang on, let me just get this.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Hang on. I want everyone to know that Words has power. This person right here went live last night and defended, yes, she did. She defended and advocated and counseled Quinn Pratt. Quinn Pratt, who court
That's
records
interesting
reflect,
because that's
shut
not
up,
my
shut up,
recollection.
moron.
No, that's
Hold
not
on,
my
Bree.
Who advocated for Quinn
Actually,
Pratt,
I remember,
who has been accused in multiple court documents of child molestation of a 7-year-old girl
Irish
multiple
language.
times.
I remember multiple
Apologies.
times that,
Great.
And
I
also
remember
of
multiple times
GRAPE
saying-
as an adult,
I remember
and also as
multiple
DV as an
times
adult.
that-
And Bree and Words
Bree,
Have
hold
Power
on.
advocated, counseled, and empathized with
No,
Quinn
because
Pratt last
it's
night.
Bree,
And
hold
you
on.
two claim to be
It
SA
is an
victim
affirmative
advocates. It's gross.
Bree.
misrepresentation.
Bree, it is
Because
not.
Words-
It's recorded. It's on my YouTube.
No,
Y'all
Bree,
sat there
it's-
and tried to
It
give
is
a pass
affirmative
because he was
misrepresentation.
11.
Words directly stated they do not support Quinn. They
Correct.
stated
And all your
that
arguments
multiple
supported Quinn.
times.
And all your arguments supported
They
Quinn.
stated that multiple
And all of your
times.
arguments supported Quinn.
Multiple
And all your
times.
arguments supported
Multiple
Quinn.
times.
Hey, watch
Sorry,
this. Hang on,
Irish.
Bree. Bree,
I'm
watch this.
sorry,
Hang on.
you
Hang
were
on.
just
Hang on.
caught
Hang on, Bree. Let me show you
fucking
what.
lying.
Hang on. Can
Dom,
you
you're
mute this
good.
moron for just 1 moment?
No.
Let me explain
No,
this right now,
because you're
Bree.
a-
Hold
What you're
on.
doing right now
We're
is
gonna-
this.
Hold on, Bree.
No,
What you're doing right now is
you're
the equivalent
attacking
of this.
DV advocate,
This
and
is
you're a
you. The
liar.
equivalent of what you're doing right now, Bree, is
You are
saying,
a liar.
I do not
Bree,
engage
we all
in body
fuck
shaming
up on occasion.
while also saying that someone looks fat. Just because you say
You
you're not
are
doing something, if you're
lying.
doing it, you're doing it.
Bree, this did happen. I was sitting there in the live myself. Iris is right, and it's recorded.
And then you
It
would have
did
heard
happen.
that you would
Bree.
have heard words say that they do not
Bree.
support Quinn.
Stop.
Multiple times.
We're not
Stop.
disputing.
This is recorded.
Stop, Bree. You have to recognize what was said was different in two different sentences.
No,
Everyone
it
up
was
there
not.
was saying
That is just-
we're not
that is
defending
just-
Quinn.
That is just slander,
Bree.
and that
No.
is BS.
Bree, everyone up there sat there saying we're not defending Quinn, but then turned around and was trying to give him grace because he was 11.
Did Words not state their position was nuanced and focused on the disclosure of court records? Yes or no?
It should have been about that, okay? It should have been
And-
about
and-
just
and-
about
and
that.
they made-
But y'all were
and they
saying
made it about that
Words
until
sat there
Irish bombed
and
the lie.
said, Words sat there. I have it recorded from before Irish joined.
It's
as well.
5 minutes. It's 5 minutes in, Echo.
Yeah. Words sat there and said, but what about Quinn? He's a victim himself. And that
here's the
doesn't
thing. Here's
give. an
Wait a
exception.
second. Did not Word say two things can be true at the same time?
Yes,
He can
they
be
can.
a
But it
abused
doesn't
and an
excuse
abuser.
it. It doesn't excuse it. You don't give
And
someone grace
words
because
did
of their
not
age.
excuse it.
Yes, they were. It was
No, how did they
invalidating.
excuse it? Please elaborate.
It was
How did they excuse it?
invalidating to people that have been raped as a child to sit there and say, well, Quinn was an abuser, but he was 11 when he did it. Or he was only a child. Or he was a victim himself. That literally is perpetuating rape culture and the negative language. Do you not recognize that?
No, I disagree because Words was making a very explicit statement that two things can be true at the same time. And in the context of what Words stated, they were trying to highlight that people that are abusers come from an abusive past. They were very clear and explicit about this. And this is a true fact. It is not putting empathy on the abuser, it's adding context. Now, here's the thing. We might not like that fact. We may have a problem with that fact. But what Words was trying to do was to highlight some of the nuance in the situation and to make the statement that Words was backing Quinn was categorically untrue. And the fact that you have somebody here just willing
Echo might have just gotten receipts in their Discord. Oops.
Yeah, I'm sure they're manufactured.
Oh, really? Echo, you may want to play that 1-minute video of Words speaking. That's clearly manufactured.
The 1-minute clip taken out of context that you're going to sit here and go on a tirade?
Hold on.
context is given to you.
It's a minute. Let's play it.
No, I object to it because I want to see.
It's not
I don't care.
moron.
No, I object to it
Overruled.
because it's going to be taken out of context so that.
Overruled.
How did he know that him doing that wouldn't maybe trigger what is his name, Quinn, to have a PTSD event or who knows what? What I'm saying is there's no care or consideration given to possible harm that could happen. But you're all going to co-sign him and be like, yeah, it's fine. Well, someday, if somebody decides they don't like you, I guess they can do the same thing to you that Irish is doing right now to Quinn. You might want to consider it. If you have any past trauma, do you want everyone in the world knowing about your past trauma?
Let me make this abundantly clear. Let me make this abundantly. Hang on. Let me make this abundantly clear before Echo says something, because this is very important. Okay.
No,
what happened was this.
That doesn't prove a single thing.
Hold on, Bree.
What I want to make clear. What I want to make.
Take it out of context.
What context?
Stop. The context is available. It is clipped from the video on my YouTube. Anybody wants further context, go watch it. This bullshit about it being taken out of context is just that. It is bullshit.
It was.
No.
It was.
Go watch
it was not.
No,
so go watch the whole video, Bree.
It's not taken out of context, Bree.
The point I want to make listen, here's the point I want to make very quickly, because there is some confusion about this. And if someone can drop Bree or keep her mouth shut so I don't get interrupted on this, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Here's exactly what happened. I had multiple people who purported to know Quinn in real life come to me. They told me rumors and they told me stuff that I would never have acted on because of the fact that it was not substantiated. They told me that there was stuff in his past and he had many victims, but people are too scared to talk about him, that there's no way that people are able to challenge him because he's got a large platform. Can you shut the fuck up? Shut up. Hang on.
Hold on. Bree, shut up.
Bree, I can't mute you, so I'm going to manually tell you to shut the fuck up on his behalf, because I can't mute you. I'm going to manually tell you, shut the fuck up.
Let me give the full context.
What does this have to do with what Words had to say?
Shut the fuck up. Stop talking.
Bree, maybe you'll get educated. Bree, if you shut up, you'll get educated. You'll get educated.
Let Irish finish. Bree, take a step back, get a drink, get a snack, listen to Irish. No, Bree, listen to Irish before you start going off. Just listen to Irish.
No, this is absolute
Just listen. Step out of your comfort zone. Stop being defensive and just listen.
Bullshit.
Bree,
No,
I'm going to
is
tell you what happened,
regulate-
and you tell me what's wrong about it. You tell me what is factually inaccurate about what I'm stating and or wrong about it, and I'm going to give you a full opportunity to respond.
You're going into
Okay, Bree, you talk first, and then I'll respond. Go. I'll mute myself, Bree. You get it all out, and then I'll respond. Go ahead, Bree.
Let me ask you this question. What does this...
No. Get this statement out. Don't ask the fucking questions. Like, you want to keep talking about how Irish is talking to women rude? I'm going to talk to you rude. Shut the fuck up. No, shut the fuck up.
No,
Don't ask
I'm not going
questions.
to.
Just speak.
I'm
just
sorry.
Speak.
It
Don't ask
doesn't work
questions.
that
Just
way.
speak.
I
It does work that
I want
way.
to know
It
exactly
actually it
what
does
does this
work that
have
way
to do
because you don't like
with
getting
what words
interrupted,
have
do
to
you?
say
You don't
and
like
what
getting
words
interrupted,
have
do
to
you?
go and
And so
communicate
getting
in
interrupted
regards
while
to
you're
that
trying to make a point
specific
really
point
fucking sucks,
that
doesn't
wasn't
it?
taken
It's
out of
really annoying,
context.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you going to stop asking stupid fucking questions, or are you going to talk?
You know, why don't you piss off?
Bree,
Can we
wait.
stop?
Ask me your
Stop.
question. I'll answer, and then you need to stop and let me respond. Go ahead and ask your question.
How does this go? And
Well, let's not mute her. Let Bree say her question so she doesn't have an excuse to interrupt.
Yeah. Mods, let's hold the muting for if we need to put on the kids' gloves and moderate them. I just don't want to do that. I want to make sure, unlike last night, both parties can talk and back and forth. So, Bree, please go ahead.
so at this point, I'm just going to excuse myself. This is not.
Oh, you were given an opportunity to talk, and now you're excusing yourself. Any excuse.
I'll just tell you what. At this point, I've seen enough ridiculous crap. I'm going to do
You're
what
a
I'm going to do.
joke, Bree.
That's
Nobody
fine.
should trust
That's
anything
fine.
out of your mouth. You're a horrible
That
woman.
is fine. That is fine. Irish, you're a gaslighter. You're an abuser. And
Please cry harder.
yeah, I'm just going to
How
say.
am I an abuser, Bree?
I'm just going to say my piece.
How am I an
I'm
abuser,
done.
you donkey?
Okay, goodbye.
Get fucked. Go on, get out of here. Nobody wants you. Nobody likes you, you fucking loser.
I want to say this to Bree. Okay, Bree. I love the advice that you help when people are in shitty situations. I love that you do that. But stop going on fucking panels, posturing as a lawyer and as a point of authority on these lives and trying to be the one that dictates everything from a legal perspective. Just stop that shit. It's social media. If you want to give legal counsel to someone pro bono, go ahead. Stop doing it on live panels.
Well, as an Uber driver with a 4.85, no, I'm just kidding.
If I can make the following statement, Quinn, I know you're in here right now.
Yep.
I recommend you follow me on this account, Quinn, and I recommend you talk to me before this gets out of hand. I'll say that again, Quinn. I highly recommend you talk to me because I can be civil and I can be reasonable, but I can tell you that you know what I know, Quinn. You know what I know. And I'm recommending that you stop trying to gaslight. I recommend that you stop trying to escalate, and I sure as fuck recommend you stop trying to twist stuff. I can be civil, Quinn, but I can be real uncivil.
And just to
and
be
that's
clear,
your choice which one you want.
Quinn has been watching this whole live, so.
Quinn, you can find me everywhere. People try to dox me all the time. People try to cancel me all the time. People try to spread false information about me all the time. People try to take me off me all the time. The thing that differs between you and I've got nothing to lose, my guy. Nothing to lose. All I care about is what is right. You can fix this so simply. I have a super easy, simple option. Apologize to Kendra. Take full accountability for lying on her name, because that apology you put out there was not sufficient. Apologize to Kendra. Apologize to all victims of SA for the harm that you did collectively to them by attacking someone who is a victim of SA. You do that, and you and I have no problems, my guy. You and I have no problems. You go around telling people I'm a liar. You go around telling people that I'm somehow gaslighting. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to end well. That's not a physical threat. That's a credibility threat. Now, let's talk about what actually happened. Here's what happened. I had multiple people who purported to know Quinn in real life from when he was younger, who purported that he had multiple victims, who purported that he was a dangerous person. I didn't report that because who the fuck knows who those people were? They could be totally weirdos. I know what haters are. Quinn may have had haters. So it could have been that. However, I looked. They told me the states where they were from. They came from 2 different states. I exhaustively went through the legal records and press releases and any sort of media from those states to find anything on Quinn Pratt. What ended up then happening was, in one state, which I'm asking people not to name, in that one state, I came across a civil court record. And that civil court record was public. The underlying documents, you have to simply contact the court in order to get the documents. Those documents are also public. Now that's unique, and that's what Bree should have asked. How were you able to get access to, why were those public documents? She's absolutely correct that that is unique and not common. The reason was because the person in those court documents, the father of that 7-year-old, went to the cops, or at least that's what the court documents reflect. All I can tell you is what the court documents reflect. That person went to the cops, reported Quinn and his 14-year-old brother. Quinn says he was 11, and I believe the court records reflect that the brother was 14. And they went to the cops to get help to prevent that 7-year-old girl from being repeatedly molested. Pardon me for the TikTok word.
Thank you.
TikTok shop, blah, blah, blah. And that father went to the cops, filed a report, and the cops did nothing. Ordinarily, what would happen is, or not ordinarily, sadly not ordinarily, but the cops are better when it comes to sexual violence. Not great, but they're a little better. So what we would hope would happen is the cops would refer to a prosecuting attorney, they would initiate a charge, and there would be a criminal order of protection issued for the children. And because that would be all handled by the prosecutor, those would all be sealed documents that would never see the light of day. In this case, the cops ended up not doing anything, leaving the poor father with absolutely nothing to do. The father was forced to file a civil order of protection. And in that civil order protection outlined all of the things. It didn't even outline all of them. In fact, they submitted a confidential document that was sealed, that went into the gory details. That was sealed. I'm not talking about that. I'm not referring to anything that's in that. I'm not referring to anything that was sealed. But there were other documents that were public. And in those public documents, the father very clearly said the 7-year-old had been repeatedly molested by Quinn at 11 and the 14-year-old older brother. That Quinn and the brother, at least one instance of that act, was leading her, taking her into the woods and making her show her blank, fill in the blank. And that happened multiple times. Now, when I read that, I was aghast. I was shocked. I was disgusted, right? And when I looked into it, I was like, oh my God, I hope this victim is okay. I can't believe this happened. And I wanted to continue to validate what had gone on. And in so doing, I found out that that victim has passed away. And at that point, I was left with an ethical question. These were public documents. These are things that anyone can have access to, but not necessarily people should have access to. And I thought it was in the best interest of the victim, and the victim I cared about was that 7-year-old daughter, to contact the family. I spoke to the family. I alerted them to the fact that these documents were public and that was something they need to be apprised of, because if they want, they can take action about that. I also advised them what was happening with Quinn. I advised them that these documents could help to show a pattern of behavior, because the documents reflected that he had done something to that 7-year-old girl multiple times. And then when she spoke out, the documents also reflected he bullied her. He bullied her after it came out. And that was consistent with what it is we had seen in the other court documents that were filed 6 years ago that showed that Quinn had raped someone and that Quinn had tried to intimidate that person into silence as well. And I asked the family, are you okay with me sharing this? Because this is sensitive material. to which they said, "Get the bastard." They endorsed it. Now, when I shared it at that time, I had no idea about any claim of SA or physical assault or sexual assault that Quinn had undergone. None. Absolutely none. What's interesting to me, and note this timeline, is when I came out with all this information, Quinn went live and he said it was all a lie. What he said was that never happened. He said that there was protective orders and charges brought against him as a child, but he said that those were all fabricated and they were only done because people wanted to somehow keep their children away from his stepfather. That's what Quinn said, that those restraining orders and the charges brought against the children, meaning Quinn and his brother, were brought against them as a means of keeping away the stepfather, which is ridiculous. Because what he's basically saying is that these people had their children file fake charges against other children to keep this grown man away. If they're going to fake charges, they would have been fake charges about the stepfather. It was incoherent. It made no sense. That night when he came up with that excuse, I did research at that point, and I found out that this stepfather was never in the state during that period of time because the stepfather was in a separate state. And when I announced that on that live, the very next day, Quinn goes live and he announces to everyone that he had had something happen to him as a child and that he is traumatized due to the fact that people are now talking about the 7-year-old girl he allegedly molested multiple times. And somehow this, to me, transparent, narcissistic, gaslighting asshat has made his moronic fans believe that the person who allegedly molested the 7-year-old is somehow the victim in all of this. Nobody has ever talked on Quinn's issues. Nobody has. Didn't even know about them until he put out that video. And so when people are talking about there was 2 victims here, I don't give a fuck about your backstory.
No.
If you're using it as an excuse to explain away why it is a 7-year-old was molested. Period, full fucking stop. Now, Quinn, you know I have other things. And I am showing discretion by not sharing those other things. I implore you to think reasonably. This is not a battle you're going to win, my guy. It's not. Think from a place of what if this is your money egg, right? This is your goose egg, right? If you want to protect your platform on TikTok, stand down. Get your ego out of this. This isn't one you're going to win, my guy. It's not.
And to be clear, I hold no remorse for P3DO's rapist at all. It's the lowest form of low. So, no, you don't get a pass. Like, yes, you are a survivor yourself, but it doesn't make it okay for you to perpetuate that harm. Full
if
stop.
Quinn went on a live with me and Echo and said that he was a victim and wanted our empathy, I would offer it. What he did instead was he used and tokenized the fact that he was a victim to excuse him hurting a 7-year-old child. We don't let perps do that. That's the act of a narcissist who does that. Because words has power is right. 2 things can be true at the same time. You can't have empathy for someone as a victim and as a perp. I don't have empathy for you as a victim when you're negating the fact that you're a perp.
Yep.
And I'm going to say this with my full chest because words has power. I understand you have lawyers. If they're as good as Bree, I think I'm okay, Cupcake. I think I'm okay. However, let me say this abundantly clear. You are harmful to SA victims. Words have power. You are harmful. And you are harmful in the following ways based upon my opinion. A, you centered yourself in a situation involving victims. B, you prioritized the perp over the victims. C, You spoke on issues pertaining to victims without being informed. And D, the grossest thing of all, you used the victimization of a 7-year-old child to make money. Because while you accused me of using this platform for money, and you challenged me to go live and show all my accounts to show how much money I had taken and then prove that I donated it all, last night I went live and I went into my 3 main accounts and I showed that I have not withdrawn a single cent from this app. Not 1 cent have I ever taken from this. It wasn't screenshots. I opened the accounts live. You do the same. Because when I went through your profile, it's weird how you use your platform advocating for victims to sell fucking candles. The fact that you do like commission sales on your videos and that you are monetized and you make money on your videos and you admit you get money off of TikTok, but you have the audacity to say that I do this for money? Bitch, I do this because I care. You do this for commission off fucking candles. Know your place.
Fucking Shamrocks in chat, please.
I'm tired of these narcissistic assholes getting rewarded for gaslighting and manipulating and this performative I know best bullshit. Oh, and by the way, let's talk about the fact that Worlds Has Power is a former fucking popo, okay? She tried to use her credentials as a former popo to explain that she knows the law. Sit the fuck down.
And then she sat there and said ACAB, but it's like, yo, you are the C. You are the C.
I just want to know how we're taking our moral cues, or some people are, from a cop. You know, like that. When I found out that this chick was a cop, I was like, oh, come on now. Like y'all can't take her seriously. Do you really?
And let's not forget too that the partner also said ACAB, but it's like, yo, you're with a cop.
Thank you, Angel. Yeah, they're obsessed with going after people, and it's just like they need a mirror, like really bad.
It's goofy.
They really need some mirrors in their house.
Well, it makes sense, right? The cops and cop lovers, of course, they're going to try to police other spaces too. Of course they are. That's what they do.
Look, I don't have a problem with that as long as they have the full-on details as far as where they're going and who they're going after. It should never be personal.
No.
With Words, it was personal.
Right.
Words was butthurt because of what happened on another live with Irish, and then just stuck with that and decided, oh, this might be my chance.
Yep. Clout chasing asshat.
Words is a self-righteous, pompous ass.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear, this is for educational purposes only. A spine is available on TikTok Shop, half off just for Maki. Human decency is available for Words.
They need a
It's for
titanium
petty
spine
reasons
at this
too.
point.
Yeah.
That shit needs to be made of fucking vibranium at this point. Such a puss.
It's irritating that they sat there and defended Quinn because, like, they're saying, yeah, we don't defend Quinn, we're not standing with him, but then they sat there and tried to give him grace because he is a victim himself.
And did you look? Can you show those two comments that they made?
Yeah. So
Echo, save my spot. I have to go fix my mod powers.
no, mod powers are a little wonky on this, so good luck.
Like, here's Quinn saying, I want to say thank you. You put your disdain aside for me. That's what he's saying. You put your disdain for me aside, and you saw what they just did. I do appreciate that, and I have been to therapy for my anger issues. Yes, court mandated, but I took a lot from it. Oh, that's weird, because you got assault and SA charges dating no more than 5 years ago. To which Words Has Power says, You keep going. She says that to the man accused of molesting a 7-year-old and accused of DVing and graping his partner a few years ago. You keep going. As a survivor of child abuse myself, I can attest that therapy does help more than I can explain. Then says Irish needs to face his own consequences for speaking on behalf of the victim. For speaking on behalf of the victim, I have to face consequences.
Yeah.
And then goes on to say, don't forget your self-care, Quinn. Don't forget, let's put this in. Don't forget Quinn, the alleged rapist and child molester. Don't forget Quinn, self-care, and please don't let the anger affect your family. Break the cycle. The fuck are you on, victim's advocate, my ass?
No. Like, you don't sit there and call out the shitty behavior and advocate for these survivors and then stand with them and be all buddy with them and comments like that. No.
And the reason is because if you're being buddy and empathetic with the purported rapist, how are victims going to feel safe in your space when you're talking nicely to the purported rapist? That's wild. It's similar to a conversation that I've had with some friends on this app, that when you straddle the middle, you scare away the good people. Because the good people don't want to fucking break bread with the bad people.
No.
So you are an advocate. You are. But it ain't for the victim.
Well, I also wanted to point out what kind of was very telling yesterday was when she was cornered, when she was speaking to another survivor, and that survivor was calling her out, and she needed time to breathe. She weaponized her mental health.
Yeah.
She weaponized her mental health because she needed some time to try to think up some other excuse.
I'd like to also point out, and I noticed it when she did it, but just for those people who don't know or haven't seen the video or whatever, about this video and throughout just the interaction in general, she never, ever said what Quinn did when she was trying to make it.
Never.
And so she danced around the whole thing. She would say stuff like, "Oh, it's not right to use his trauma," and it's like the trauma we're talking about is what he did to that 7-year-old when he was 11 and his brother was 14. That's what we're talking about. And Words knew that. He consciously danced around the issue the entire time. The entire time. So for anyone who may think, oh, maybe she didn't know or blah, blah, blah. No, she knew. And if she didn't know, she should have asked, hey, Irish, what did he do? But she didn't. She knew, and she kept capping for him.
100%.
That's the person that she is. Her husband, her partner also knew, and kept capping.
I will never let them ever forget that yesterday, they stood and they protected a accused rapist and schmiled molester while claiming to be a safe space for victims.
Right.
Yeah.
Just crazy, absolutely insane behavior. Can't.
Also, there's an account in chat, Avery Von Pink Chaos Fairy. Awesome account.
Yeah, Avery was
please
in
go
here.
follow that.
Not the real Avery.
Yeah, please go follow that. Not the real Avery.
Oh, is that the person who's got the? Okay, is that the? Where is it? I don't see it.
That's the one we like.
So if you see an account in here that says Avery on it, go follow that, because Avery was in here and may still be in here right now, and she's trying to evade responsibility for what they did. Avery, I'll say this, Avery. I don't know why people pick fights with me. It seems like you've got like a sexual kink for humiliation or something. You want my focus? I want to ask that question, Avery. You want my focus? I did 2, 3, maybe 4 lives on you, Avery, and I fucking wrecked you. In 3 or 4 lives, I wrecked you. And for 8 months, you've tried to hurt me. You haven't done shit, bro. Not one thing have you done, Avery. Not one have you done. You can keep trying to come after me. And she has. Oh, she has. She has repeatedly tried to come after me, and I've not cared. No. But Avery, I'm in a fucking foul mood these days, Avery. So if you want to keep pushing and you want to see what it is I'm able to do with a 5th live and a 6th live, you, Avery, were following more than 100 minors. When I called you out on it, you privated your account and you deleted from your 1,000 people that you were following. The 1,000 people you were following, you deleted 200 followers. Oh, prove it. Go to that receipts one. Yeah. Go to the receipts one and you'll see that there's plenty of evidence that she was not only simply following over 100 minors, but was engaging in their content and engaging in their age regression content.
The Avery Receipts account, can you hop up in a box and just mute up? You don't have to say anything, but
just invite them up.
Yeah. Just so you can sit up here for a minute and people can know the account. You don't gotta say anything, don't gotta age or nothing. You're good.
Absolutely it's crazy that Avery has the audacity to keep thinking that she can like try to scare or intimidate me. Ooh. Avery, they're not all adults. There was literally a victim who spoke out against you. You lied about her. Then you said she was blackmailed. Are you gross? Are you gross? And then you said she was a liar. You're a disgusting person, and you absolutely, when you say that you have DID, I have never once said you don't have DID. I have never once said that you're not a military vet. In fact, that's where all this stems from Words Has Power. Words Has Power tried to get me to tell lies about Avery. And that's why I have credibility, because I rejected their lives. They tried to tell me that Avery was false valor. Not for 1 second did I believe Avery was false valor. So I've never propagated that. No. That's why Words Has Power has issues with me, because I wouldn't propagate. She couldn't use me to spread lies about you, Avery.
Avery is
here. Because I do have integrity on what it is I do. And so I didn't share those lies, and she got upset. Jonathan is Avery.
Yeah, Jonathan in chat is Avery.
So I want, just a reminder to everyone in here, because we have 200 people. Avery was following 100 minors. Many of those minors engaged in age regression, including some of the people that she was following engaged in age regression as a schmexual thing. She also was following minors who engaged in furry play. And at the same time, she was on FetLife, advertising for playmates and trying to negotiate a meetup with a woman who likes to change the spoiled diapers of adult grown-ups playing toddlers. And at the same time, she was also going to kink events on a monthly basis in her local city until they kicked her out because of her age regression kink. And then she went on Facebook in order to get angry with them for drawing a boundary at not wanting people walking around in a fucking diaper.
Yeah. So, everybody knows, I talk to people that are DID and have little alters.
No issue.
No issue there. That is not a problem, right? I also will not engage with them when they are a little alter. They are a minor at that point and cannot consent. That is a do not engage. Plain simple, full stop. It's not what Avery was doing.
And I also want to be super clear. There's lots of people who have a strong line when it comes to age play and age regression. I don't even shame people for that stuff. If you have 2 adults engaging in consensual behavior, I'm not going to shame you for that. I understand why people do. I fully understand why people do. I don't. My only issue with you, Avery, was that you were following minors. You were following minors, and you were engaging in their content. And then we found that you had been talking to one of those minors, and after a year or 2 of knowing them, you then wanted to meet up for intimate cuddling. like my family.
10%. That is some Brett Little QB shit.
And Avery, if you want to say you didn't know that she was that age, okay, say that. But don't call me a liar. I'm not lying about what happened. You can say that you didn't know, and I'll validate that. If you didn't know, you didn't know. And I'm sorry you didn't know. But don't claim it's a lie. It happened. I'm not trying to demonize you over nonsense. I'm genuinely not.
No.
What's up, little derp? You were going to ask a question or something?
I have the same files that you do because I found them myself.
Wait, stop right there.
I'm not mentioning anything.
No, stop right there. Nobody should go looking for these case files. Nobody should do that. In my opinion,